Welcome everyone, and this is the No Logic 2024 main tournament. I'm ChecksHuman, and today we have SimpleClips versus JDSilvergun. And our runners are about to start at any moment. This is No Logic, so it is a glitched Link to the Past race. It's a randomizer. Major glitches are allowed. The rule set is no EG. That's how we do our no logic races. And we have two formidable runners. SimpleClips has been running no logic for a bit, and JD has as well. And we have a start at Link's house. SimpleClips shows us just a heart container. JD as well. And both of our runners start with an out of bounds right away. Well, SimpleClips does first. This is a fake flipper. He'll jump in such a way to transition at the same time. Here it is. At the same time that he splashes. And he splashes down, has time to accelerate and move into the transition. And there we go. Just a 20 rupee under the bridge. JD will be using a funny auto walk thing. And there it is. They pick up a map. So they get to know what Thieves Town is. That's a really interesting piece of information because Thieves Town is sort of a swing dungeon sometimes if you know that it's a pendant. Because oftentimes there's stuff there that people will go for, even if it is a pendant. SimpleClips is now attempting a slope swim, and this is known as Swim EG, as a casual name, not a real name. Oh, we're good. Some crabs almost interrupted the trick, but we were okay. Oh, 10 bombs. That's a great way to fill up on bombs right away. SimpleClips will be arming Water Walk now. And splashes out of the tall grass. I like that. Just as a side effect of swimming into the cave. Okay. JD gets a nice slope swim setup. And is already in Ice Rod Cave. SimpleClips now checks the map. Sees the island and notices the map. A sword is in the waterfall. All right, so SimpleClips makes his way to Zora's domain. We'll be able to check the ledge and get it if he wants to. And here he goes. He's doing a clip, boots clipping to do a ledge hop. And this ledge hop will take him just around the fence, and he'll make a short trek around. Any jumping off is okay. Link will splash here, basically. And JD also will go for the key. Let's see if JD does the same clip. So JD's jumping lower, so they might have a different strat. That's right. So JD has a shortcut. And so they both earned the key to Skull Woods. Next up at Sanctuary, just another heart container, same as at Link's house. And then in Bonk Rocks, just 20 rupees. So our runners will want to clear the overworld, especially while they don't have Moon Pearl. Light World is oftentimes full cleared. Sometimes there are skips. And it really depends on the pace of items. So we'll see how it goes. Both runners go for the thieves hideout next. Just a piece of heart. Some bombs are at the tree pull. But our runners both have the 10 bomb item already. The bush hoarder has 20 rupees. That's pretty nice. And SimpleClips will check Aga. So the lumberjack item is still an Aghanim blocked item. We can't get that without the use of EG. And so we would need to defeat Aga if we wanted that item, but we're not going to do that this seed. Pretty rare that we see an defeat Aghanim seed. All right, so SimpleClips does a DMA, ascends Death Mountain, and nice splash back. Nice lush green mountain, and earns a bottle with a simple clip. In fact, a teleport. So there's a heart container. Will SimpleClips go for it? Yes. JD has different cues for their sprites. Celeste has a bigger area on the sprite map covering the shadow that Link would normally have, or other sprites. Either equal or bigger, not sure which. Let's see if JD goes for the heart. Yes, they do. All right, so what's next for SimpleClips? Probably rescuing the old man. Quite convenient to have a sword here. Nice spin speed for JD to take a quicker route through the lobby. And next up is JD's teleport. Will JD be going for a citrus clip? Yes. So this is a different strat. The squirrel gets in the way. There we go. Nice citrus. So a citrus is a way to clip left slopes with manual clipping. That is without the use of boots. Okay, so JD is taking a trek through Spectacle Rock Cave. Oh, SimpleClips going perhaps for Graveyard, which is south of the screen. Got stuck. So we'll try again. That is a low punish clip because we are one screen away from the start. We get to refill bombs too, but SimpleClips has max bombs. And more bombs. And a Houlihan play for SimpleClips. The camera is messed up after a DMD. So we get sort of a free Houlihan by falling in a hole. And JD is now going to the east mountain. And here we go, another citrus. Now we see a slash to the right, that helps JD go for an upward teleport. Meanwhile, SimpleClips finds the mirror in the chest where we want to mirror block a race. And we'll see what is in the sunken item. Meanwhile, JD is going for a spiral cave. Just a small key to Dark Palace. This is a low value key. We play No Logic in Key Sanity, which makes traversal through the seed much easier and a bit more interesting because we can use our keys specifically for the dungeons that we enter and any dungeons that we progress through while we're in the underworld. Or if we're in cave state, we can open doors and open chests without being locked out. So SimpleClips searches. Here we go. This is a bomb juke. So it's just a map in King's Tomb. So what we saw from SimpleClips was a juke from Mini Moldarm Cave to King's Tomb. And we saw Bombos Medallion from JD. Thank you to our tracker, Other Tom, tracking this race for us. Meanwhile, SimpleClips is on to Kakariko Village. We oftentimes see later Kakariko visits in No Logic because there's just so much to do. On the other hand, we still see early Kakarikos because sometimes it's hard to do anything without getting a ton of items in the light world. So now JD is doing their graveyard DMD, descending down to the graveyard ledge. And then time for more money? Yes. Maybe? Yes. Down into the useless fairy drop, which in No Logic is not useless because we use it for money. SimpleClips finds the book and a glove and a very high value key, the key to Hera in the well. So that is a high value key because we can use it to unlock Swamp Palace if we don't have a way through there. Not because we want to use it for the basement. Okay, so SimpleClips has the flute and activates it here. I didn't notice the flute, so this is a good, this is a good place to activate it, I guess. And SimpleClips makes his way through Chicken Hut, just 10 arrows. And now JD will be going over to Mini Moldarm. Oop. JD's trying a new thing that I just learned, which is that you can throw the bomb very far to the left. But it didn't make it quite high enough. So they had to try again. That's okay. So SimpleClips has a bottle. It's just a map. Oh, I missed that the Swamp Palace key is in Mini Moldarm Cave. So now our runners have two different ways into Swamp Palace. Either key might be useful. Oh, the fire rod. I missed the fire rod pickup. So that must be in CAC as well. And SimpleClips makes his way to the race maze race, let's say. And here we go. There's a hammer. We can cheat the maze. There we go. Nice skip. And now, time for desert. We do a little teleport upward that gives us a jump down to the desert. JD water walking to get to potion shop area. So this will be JD's purchase. So now we have a potion difference. Simple has a red, JD has a green. We have a castle tower key on the torch. That's useful if we want that second item. SimpleClips is getting through desert, and we learned from JD that desert is green pendant. And Hookshot is in Sahasrara. That is very nice. Some runners don't go to Sahasrara right away. SimpleClips is now doing a YBA, and this will skip this room and go directly to the next one, which is the attic of Thieves Town. And we always want to use that door on the left. That room is symmetrical and has two doors. But on the right side, the door would take us to a wall, because as we look into this hallway, we see a wall is on the bottom edge of the screen. So that would get us stuck if we were to use that other door. So we use that one. Ooh, a rod. It looked like ice rod to me. I could be mistaken. So there we go. SimpleClips has both rods. That's pretty great. And that is pretty big. Again, like I said, this can make a difference, especially the back of Thieves Town. On the other hand, it is common to see... Oop. Okay, so Simple is able to use a bomb clip to get to right side desert quickly and make a nice loop around desert and thieves. So, nice reward. The lamp. And okay, so we have our first boss fight, by the way. JD's fighting Moldorm. Doing quite well, being defensive. Gets a good dash into Moldorm, but it didn't work. It was just not lucky, basically. Okay, good. JD stands their ground. That is not falling off the platform. And defeats Moldorm. Meanwhile, SimpleClips finds a sword upgrade in K45. So this seed is quite kind with swords and rods. And not to mention, we have lamp and hookshot in the light world. So what this means is we could easily see hook pushing very soon. And let's see what is in Aegina. Meanwhile, JD finding out some info. Oh, this is very interesting. JD finds out that Thieves is a pendant. And they also find out that Ice Palace is a crystal. So that is very interesting. Like I said before, the back of Thieves Town matters. Meanwhile, JD is doing a different kind of DMD to get back to the main world. Okay, we get to find out a stun prize. Okay, so we see JD facing downward. This is going to be This is going to be a clip down to the castle. So we might see Agate Tower or Escape next. SimpleClips also is in the Dark World. Will we see a map check? And by the way, SimpleClips places an offset mirror portal. And maybe we saw that from JD, I just missed the placement. And this mirror portal is our sort of classic glitch way into the Pyramid Fairy screen. And here it is for Simple. Yeah, here we go. So we had a shovel in Agate Tower. Wonder if that leads to anything. SimpleClips. By the way, why not throw a bottle in the fairy fountain? I'm not sure what happened to that. So here we go. So we have JD in Escape and SimpleClips also going toward Escape at Uncle. Uncle has money. Just a heart and the secret passage. SimpleClips finally earning magic, which is kind of funny because the heart drop enemies drop magic. And Simple also skipped the small magic pots in Desert. Some players go for those when they go to the map room. And JD using pots, hook shots, swords. We get through ball and chains. We're able to mirror out. So what's next? Will we see Dark Cross? Oh, here we go. So there's the big magic drop for Simple, finally. Yeah, so JD is showing us Dark Cross. This is one of those screens that not every player goes to. Because we can get here from Hera with a clip. We can skip it entirely. When we have Mirror, though, it's a lot better, of course. Because then our play doesn't have to end here, essentially. Just 20 rupees. Okay. SimpleClips now going to Uncle. JD has the magic mirror portal. And here we go. What about our potion? So JD never used their green potion. So doesn't have anything to throw in either. Okay, so okay. I missed where SimpleClips got another potion. So by my complaining about not throwing in the bottle, maybe it made no sense because SimpleClips already has a green potion. Okay, nice YBA. So SimpleClips was watching Link disappear fully into the wall and then watching the sparkles to see where Link would, where Link was positioned. JD does a Bombo's cast on 2 short sword guards. Not totally sure if that was intentional. But on the other hand, I do think it was intentional because it was a way to use magic power. And I don't see any rods from JD, so maybe that was JD's only magical item. And so that was the only way JD could use magic power. In other words, the only way JD could use a potion. So now both of our runners are in Thieves Town, which is interesting. It probably means that JD will be going to the attic, but not always. And another thing to keep in mind, for future reference, our runners can also opt to use a medallion cancel to use magic and not cast the medallion. Not totally sure if that's part of JD's toolset, but there are a few different ways to do it, such as walking across a pit and casting the medallion. We can also sort of spin speed the medallion. All right, so SimpleClips takes out blind and saves and quits. So I'm not totally sure of the routing because I sort of missed it, or I don't fully know the intention. So JD will go back into Thieves, which is interesting, even though it's a pendant. So one thing that SimpleClips misses out on is the Village of Outcasts screen. So it is possible that Simple was locked out, but I'm not totally sure. So regardless, SimpleClips will be doing something else. JD finds a different glove. That's interesting. So if JD searches Kakariko next, they will find Mitts. And of course, it's one screen away. It's sort of funny because they have the mirror. JD might make a portal in the Dark World. It would be interesting to see if Fire Rod is here, if I remember correctly. And then they could go to Skullwoods next. Sometimes if we don't have the mirror, then we'll just leave the screen and it'll take us to Light World. Because we're actually in Light World, even though it looks like Village of Outcasts. Because our world state is Light World. It was never changed. Entering from Uncle. So here we go. SimpleClips. I missed it. I think it must have been it was a fake flute. So we saw a fake Dark World, a fake Light World screen for a second. But a transition shows us that it's really Village of Outcasts. I thought I could get that straight in one try, but I didn't. Okay, so now, indeed, it is Kakariko time for JD. And yeah, this is SimpleClips' way back to get to complete this dungeon. And JD, yes, indeed. If I know JD, I know we'll see that chicken. And JD gets the map of Ganon's Tower, right? Yep. And now SimpleClips gets their mitts in Thieves Town. That makes more sense than where JD is getting their mitts. We might see that in a few minutes. Okay, so now Simple. I don't know if Simple has this map. Apparently not. So now JD, now SimpleClips learns that this clear was all just for a pendant. But that's okay.
Yeah! What's up? Bro! Oh, wrong place. Wait. Huh?
Are you here for A Link to the Past, no logic? Wrong place. Sorry, wrong number. So here we go. Yes, that's the fire rod. So that was back of the well. So now JD has a mirror portal available if they want to return to the into the dark world. So we might see that used. SimpleClips is a bunny or maybe a robot. And he can still use Super Bunny to check the screen. I didn't get to see whether he went into the brewery. That cannot be done as a bunny unless we pre-open the brewery. Okay, so yeah, SimpleClips will continue. And he can check the north dark world. In particular, this item, Bumper Ledge. We don't care about this item. Sometimes we might want to pick it up if we want link state, but he opts not to do that because if he's going to Skull Woods, he doesn't need link state. You can just go in here and use Dungeon Bunny Revive. Meanwhile, JD does their teleport to get Hammer. Okay, so this is a good place to take damage. And we are no longer a robot. All right, what's next for JD? Oh. Nice teetering for Simple. Gets to the chest. It's a key to Turtle Rock. It's nice to have at least one of those. Those are pretty nice to have if we want to go through that dungeon. We get a Shovel Dash for JD. Unfortunately, it's just a piece of heart. And not sure what JD's potion situation is. I would be curious to know since they're going into desert. So JD's going to K45. This is good because they see the Master Sword here. Nice Hammer Dash. Is that optimal? Now we have the Mummy Room for Simple. Worst room in the game, of course. Oh! Fire Rod goes through the Mummy. And a miss. And a hit. And full magic get. So everything's all good. JD has... Okay, nice refill. And SimpleClips has half magic, so using Fire Rod is no big deal at all. And JD will be checking Bombos for us. I don't think we saw this. We did see Ether. This is a map of Dark Palace. Okay. Oh, I think we did see a check, actually. Because you could find your way home or something. Or maybe I'm getting mixed up. But regardless, that's the Dark Palace map. And a nice bomb clip for JD. And what big key was this? This is Ice Palace. Okay. Our runners could technically full clear Ice Palace. If they really wanted to. And... can they do that with no glitches? Yeah, I think they can fake Flipper into Ice Palace if they want to. Clear it. And meanwhile, SimpleClips down to 3 hearts. Is this a problem? I don't know. They do go for a heart, which turns him into a bunny. So he's being careful. I am not sure what the safety situation is, but it is really nice to have half magic. Plus, things are dropping hearts. Things are dropping 8 bombs. We have more magic. Small pot gives us 2 shots. I think everything's all good. Plus, we're dropping in with 6 hearts total. Okay, JD does make it to the back of Thieves Town. This is a good thing because now they both have 2 rods. We're having some missed fire rod shots, unfortunately. SimpleClips taking Moth's damage down and takes Moth down. There we go. For a bottle. Nice reward. So our runner's quickly running into an oh no go mode situation. SimpleClips probably is not going to call it, but it is something to keep in mind. So very good, very interesting situation for JD where they know they did that YBA just for access to Pendant Blind and that one chest. Hammer Yump with this key. If I am inferring correctly, that could be the big key of darkness. So what's next? SimpleClips has 2 bottles. Releases the fairy. We get a blue and a red. Oh, I missed a map. So what's next for JD? I kind of missed how they got to Thieves Town, actually. But I'm always enjoying the routing in No Logic. I don't really know what runners are going to do. Everyone has different ideas about how to complete a seed. Meanwhile, we get a pretty common visit in No Logic. SimpleClips upgrades his bombs and arrows. This will be good for hook pushing, especially. Uh-oh. That seems... JD apparently took too many hits because they wanted to drop their health down to make death warping easier, but the Ropa wouldn't get out of the way. Okay. So SimpleClips now is setting up a bomb clip, and this skips a few rooms of Ice Palace. And here we go. We are at bombable floor. Oh, right. Ether tablet was money. SimpleClips looks like they might do the bomb trick differently. That was quite nice for a different method that I've never seen. It's intuitive, though. It made sense. Okay, JD. So one thing we can do is use the bird to knock us into the hut, but JD has a mirror, so we'll probably just be using that. Nice hammer. Excuse me. Nice Ice Palace bomb jump for SimpleClips. Okay. So we get to see Meyer Hut. Okay, we have Pengator line up for Simple. They drop bombs. So we have the Ice Palace big key. So we'll see this side of the dungeon. Just a heart piece. And JD is setting up a Kiki skip. So this cave, Spectacle Rock, connects to Palace of Darkness. And here we are. A third bottle, very nice. So it's quite nice that it's red as well. We can use red at essentially any transition. I haven't talked about super tile and subtiles yet, but there's a difference. All right, now we have a spin YBA for SimpleClips, and they want this to be like a YBA and a spin. So let's see how it goes. Yep, we get the Tam Slam. A bonk takes SimpleClips into a hole. And they drop to Cold Stare. Let's see how this fight goes. He has half magic. And they're taking it nice and easy. Spins, fire rods. Vortex makes a good point. SimpleClips does have the hammer and mitts, so why not just fall to Cold Stare? Sometimes the simplest solution is not on the top of one's mind. It wasn't... Yeah, that's right. I did mention earlier that we could clear Ice Palace with the use of only fake flippers, and I totally forgot about that part. And we have flippers in Rupee Basement. All right, SimpleClips thinking the same thing. We'll also be going to Palace of Darkness. Sets up a bomb clip with a teleport. Very nicely done. Tempered Sword is in Stalfos Basement. SimpleClips exits to the overworld. Press down to go up. And we're back in pod. Oh, I'm surprised this wasn't opened at all. So SimpleClips did not go for any searching of this dungeon. So SimpleClips is thinking go mode. Especially since he got that third bottle, right? So with 3 bottles, swords, and rods, we're not really afraid of anything. We're ready to go. And both of our runners are doing the juke. And by the way, both of our runners have mirror. So mirror can stand in for YBAs as well. So both of our runners are doing statue drag to Helma. This is, of course, a Yuzuhara exclusive glitch. Yuzuhara found a lot of glitches and applications of glitches over the years, so this was one of his most interesting inventions or innovations. So here we go. We have a tempered fight for JD. This shouldn't be too much trouble. And Helma is down a little bit close to the spikes, but that's okay. It is possible for Helma to walk over the spikes, and then you're not able to win the fight because then you can't get to the heart. So this is a crystal. So both runners earn a crystal. This is a very interesting race. We are at 44 minutes. Essentially, both of our runners are on go mode. JD, I'm not really sure totally. And SimpleClips will probably see him skip all of pod. Meanwhile, JD is going into Eastern, but are they ready to go into Eastern? Because they're pausing. They're leaving. SimpleClips leaving the game to save and quit to Mountain Cave. So, what's wrong with Eastern? I don't know. Okay, JD's going back somewhere. Could it be Eastern? Yeah. So this is the yeet to Spectacle Rock Cave on the other side. So this takes JD to this stairwell, which will take them to Eastern. Both of our runners are doing it. This is hype. It's a race into Cave State Eastern. We call this key skip. Thank you, Tam. So our runners are able to sort of open doors in Cave State. I didn't really talk about that, but yeah, our runners can just open any door they want since they are equipped to do that. They have the Hyrule Castle big key to open big key doors. They have Cave State, so they can open any small key door. And it's especially helpful when on certain transitions, the back of big key doors will have a small key. And we can open the back of the big key door. So lots of ways through Cave State and unlocking doors. So JD's going to continue on, is not super set on go mode at this point. One thing about JD is I think they would really like to be able to use hook pushing, and they don't really have good equipment for that. Oh, JD probably didn't know about Green Pendant Desert until just now, and SimpleClips now gets his hook shot into Hazarla. And yeah, this route makes sense for SimpleClips because he set up to unlock Eastern and is now going back. I'm not 100% sure, but some runners like to go all the way through Cave State. Some like to go through the overworld. And wow, both runners are syncing up again. Here we go. JD gets the juke. This is So here's the thing. Either of our runners could have mirror block a race after going to the big chest room, and then they could have got the chest that way. But they didn't, unfortunately, for us viewers. That's okay. They fortunately had this little juke race to get the big key chest. That was pretty cool. All right, JD is filling up on potions. We have not seen Armos yet. Well, that's okay. It takes a long time to get there, and JD almost has hook pushing, but doesn't. Okay, here we go again. One thing about JD is they might be thinking about it now, but they can enter Ice Palace with no glitches at all. And yet this YBA takes us from the well to Ice Palace. So it costs a potion to do this. But that's okay. They have 1234 rupees. It's not a big deal. They can mirror block erase if they want to, but that's okay. Okay, so SimpleClips is doing something interesting. This is going to be a quadrant glitch, which a lot of Link to the Past runners are sort of familiar with. Some are not, but basically they can encounter a bad glitch that desyncs Link from sprites, and it seems like it's sort of the end of the line. We can't complete Ganon's tower, etc., etc. But it is a glitch that we can take advantage of in no logic, and what we can do is we can unlock the camera with it. We can also repair quadrant glitch. So when we quadrant glitch, it changes our quadrant value. Now we can change it back. And so that's what SimpleClips is doing here. So what it is a spin and a clink in this case. It's sort of Link is moving and spinning at the same time. And when you do that on a quadrant barrier, it's a problem and causes a glitch. But we take advantage of that, and here SimpleClips is all good, is able to transition west even with an unlocked camera. And since the camera is unlocked, we can pull red Igors off screen like so. And this allows us to do Bolus Eastern. And we just need both Igors to cooperate. And there we go. They can come back, it's fine, as long as the door is open. Okay, so now we have a no-bow fight for SimpleClips. Fire Rod does a lot of damage. What does that take, like 6 hits per statue? And then spins. That takes more, that'll take 12 or so. But if he slashes, of course, that'll take, what, 24 slashes per statue or something? Pretty ridiculous. Hammer, I think it's 12. Oh. Down to our last one. So JD is not set on go mode yet. Like I mentioned before, they are searching, and here they are on right side Ice Palace. SimpleClips earns a crystal and now has Eastern done. So JD also in Ice will be catching up on crystals a little bit. SimpleClips still has more. And we learned that Hera is a crystal on SimpleClips' side. Or maybe he already knew that. Oh yeah, this is an interesting point. So SimpleClips, having skipped pod, missed out on the flippers. SimpleClips is going back to pod, but why? I think it might have to do with clearing not Hera, but maybe unlocking the door of Hera, or unlocking Swamp, or both. Meanwhile, we have a Cold Stare fight for JD. Now, they have more sword power. And Fire Rod cleans them up pretty well. And then there's the cleanup with Tempered. Oh, a mushroom is what we earned. I didn't catch that. Not sure if we'll see that turned in. We probably will pretty soon. Oh, so SimpleClips is going back into pod after all. So it was so maybe it's not go mode after all, but maybe a go mode in a way where we're not going for slow check. So it's sort of a sliding scale go mode. And maybe SimpleClips is not ready for certain dungeons, in particular Swamp. So this will be fortunate. There they are, flippers. Okay. And what is next for JD? They are on the mountain. Oh, SimpleClips is out of here. So I was wrong. It was not an unlock of Swamp. It was find more items, get more comfortable, see if we can really get into go mode. And maybe we really did this time. All right, what's next for JD? Map check. Oh, is it time for revenge on Ropas and a return to Skull Woods? So SimpleClips already has 4 crystals, and he knows that where at least 2 pendants are. Does he know where the 3rd pendant is? We might have to play a game of guess the crystal. I imagine that we I don't know. I normally assume that Swamp is the slowest crystal to beat, but for our runners they have flippers and hookshot, which makes it much easier. They only have 1 medallion, so I think Meyer will be the biggest issue. Maybe they hope that Meyer is a pendant. But regardless, SimpleClips has to fight Moldarm. Now, that was a nice hammer fight. It went by a little faster than the fighter sword fight for JD. So there's a 5th crystal. A 5th crystal for a simple. And JD will be going for their 4th in Skull Woods. So we still have a lot of game left. No Logic is quite challenging to get to just sort of have a good end game. It's hard to get all the tricks done first try. Both of our runners, I think, would probably prefer hook pushing methods to get through these dungeons. And they just don't really have the ancilla, the stuff that Link makes. Normally Bo is very good. And Samaria as well for hook pushing. Samaria is sort of the star item in No Logic. JD gets an extra heart pot. going to Moth. Meanwhile, SimpleClips has made it from Hera to Swamp, taking advantage of that Hera small key. Hey, there's the red boomerang. That will be helpful. But can we create enough Ancilla to make use of it? So now JD gets their third bottle, and I think that is helpful. We'll see how much more searching JD will be doing. Oh, yeah, one thing we saw from SimpleClips is usually we need to remember to leave Swamp, like, to unlock Swamp, basically. But he has a small key for Swamp, so we can unlock both doors. And SimpleClips. Now, SimpleClips is going back to Hera. I don't fully understand this play because why not just go to Argus? So, SimpleClips earns the Crystal of Swamp, but Swamp is not yet cleared because we are going by what we call the Crystal Boss's goal. So in no logic, the goal is to collect 7 crystals and defeat Ganon. We also have to defeat the bosses of each of these crystal dungeons, and we don't have to do that in any particular order. However, oh, here we go. JD checks the back of Escape, finally. Nice to see that. And it's a bow. So the bow is very good, like I mentioned before. With a bow, lamp, hookshot, stuck pushing becomes viable. And it would be nice to have a boomerang. I forgot where that was. But SimpleClips has one. Anywho. That wasn't Swamp? Okay. So, yeah, so JD definitely has better items for Go mode here. SimpleClips is now in Desert. So this is interesting because we oftentimes get to Desert. All right, SimpleClips is mirroring out. This means that SimpleClips' idea about what they wanted to do wasn't quite right. In fact, he mirrored in a place where you would expect to take damage and then use Samaria. So it's possible SimpleClips thought he had Samaria. And I think it's possible SimpleClips transposed Flippers with Samaria. Because if you see Flippers, you might think you can clear Swamp. And then once you think that you're able to clear Swamp, you might use, your Death Hole routing to do that. And that is not what we can do at this point. But the good news is he can use a double YBA to get back to Swamp, which is not too bad. Because, I missed what happened to JD. My guess is that he's saved and save scummed a potion. So we'll see SimpleClips pull off a red YBA. That's good. So that was a sorry. We're seeing some camera adjustment, and then we'll see the next YBA. So we did a subtile YBA, and then we have to do a camera correction, and then we do a no, we don't need to do that. Okay, here we go. We're doing something else. That wasn't quite what we wanted. Okay, so SimpleClips was on his way to Swamp, but didn't really do what he wanted to do. There's two things he could do. What he would want to do is to do a little camera correction to the left and then go right. But instead he went straight right, and then going to the left broke the route. But yeah. A little camera correction can help Link do a west transition in Swamp, which helps get through the waterfall room, or at least get into that room. Another option is to simply transition to the right and then use a spin YBA to get to Argus. But SimpleClips will abandon that for now. And hey, we'll steal a key. What are we gonna do with this key? Well, maybe SimpleClips reset. And so maybe we're just doing it all over again. Okay. Meanwhile, we have what we call a mirrorless mirror wrap. Actually, I don't think we call it that, but I'll call it that today. A mirrorless mirror wrap to get to Laser Bridge on JD's side. So JD did a screen wrap and a screen scroll. And so, well, not a screen wrap. What is it? Well, it's sort of a screen wrap. And regardless, he does a scroll to get to Laser Bridge. So now they just need to get to Trinex. And it's not that easy. So unfortunately, they don't have a boomerang. So they can't really hook push there. They can use a double YBA. So this... Okay. JD dashing down to an edge right before they fall gives me a little scare. So now JD will be doing a second YBA. Both of our runners are doing difficult YBAs because they need to get both YBAs right. They can't transition incorrectly. And JD gets it. So they are going to be transitioning up. And they get it. We also have to be careful on that walk. After we're done with the YBA, the trick's not over because we have to walk up before dashing, which is an annoying thing to get wrong if we do it wrong. So we always have to walk up to start through that bridge. And now we're at Trinex, and Trinex is already down to phase 2. We get fast ROM'd. Trinex eats Celis. And now we have to get away. We do not want to lose this fight. And we do not want to miss. And we do not want to be hit at all. We can actually hit the body at 2 hearts, but we can't touch the head. So there we go. JD takes Trinex down. All right, so I'm starting to wonder whether SimpleClips knows he can get to Argus at all. I'm not sure what is blocking him from going through Swamp if they want an easier route to Argus. On the other hand, we started this way, so why not continue? So, despite being a little bit ahead, SimpleClips has slowed down. And now JD has the Crystal of Turtle Rock. And how are our runners doing? They both have 5, right? Or does SimpleClips have 6? Yeah, so SimpleClips has 6, but not the boss of the 6th. So now JD... Oh, we didn't quite get the Eastern clip. Okay, so what is SimpleClips going to do? What we want is for him to go left, peek over to the left, then go right. All right, perfect. That transition worked out. So that's good. So that means that when SimpleClips transitions, they have the ability to go to the back of the swamp and to make left transitions. And that's all we need. So JD, I will be curious how they get to Armos. They can hook push, but I don't know if that's going to be our route. I lost the chest on the left, but it was just arrows on the right. What's in Waterfall chest? So we do get 3 items on the way. Misery Mire Big Key could be helpful, but it really is not helpful in this seed. All right, so SimpleClips still needs a key and can just swim there. Ignore the broken screen. And so, okay, here's the good news. We can do this fight and skip phase 1 pretty quickly, but what will SimpleClips do? Will SimpleClips fight like normal? It looks like it. If I were SimpleClips, I would take advantage of this broken screen and skip phase 1 entirely. What you can do is you can move Argus all the way to the left or right and then just dash to the other side. But that's not how SimpleClips will handle it. SimpleClips will beat all the Argai. Let's go. Okay, we have to be a little careful. We don't want to take a death here after all this work. All right, and Argus is down. So that is the boss of Swamp. And where are we? We're in Desert. So SimpleClips does get a green pendant reward, which is interesting. This does give us a warp to the front of Swamp, but we don't really want that. So that puts us in fake Dark World, and we transition to the left, and we're now in real Light World. So, this is another advantage JD has right now, the bow. So they were able to skip the slow Armus. Uh-oh. Okay, so I guess SimpleClips just did a regular jog to Meyer. Okay, so he was able to scout the medallion. It looks like it was ether, is that right? So they don't have ether. Our runners need to either find ether, which is probably not going to happen at this point, or they need to ID swap Meyer to earn the crystal. And that's what they're going to do. So they have a difficult road ahead of them. That is, if Meyer is a crystal. And at this point, I would be hoping it is not a crystal. And in fact, based on the bosses we've seen, I think we can assume that Meyer is a pendant. So I think our runners will not go for Meyer since it's the most well-locked dungeon, which is fine because they won't have to do it. So, with all this said and done, JD has earned their Armos crystal. So now they have 6 crystals, and they just need to beat Swamp Palace. After that, they'll just need to beat Agatu and Ganon. SimpleClips, meanwhile, just has a Turtle Rock ahead of them. And I'm not sure how I saw JD get a link state, but this is how SimpleClips will do it. JD probably went this way and I missed it. But this is a Lumberjack DMA in the Dark World. That first potion was needed to get a link state. And oh, let's press down. There we go. Yeah, we must have seen this. I remember seeing this. Okay, so anywho, JD walks down the cloud staircase and then hops back onto land. And then we'll be doing the Turtle Rock climb, and then we might see a hook push. So SimpleClips might have a faster way to get to Trinex. This is a very close race. So both of our runners are working on their last crystal. And I don't know who's ahead. SimpleClips might need to get rid of this Lionel first. And what is SimpleClips going to do? SimpleClips is going to the left, and so is going up. And so this will be the double YBA. Or he will think about it. Oh, this is the boomerang for JD. Oh, that's got to hurt a little bit because I think they could have used that to make Trinex easier. Uh-oh. What is happening here? JD is going to Hera. But again, I don't understand why. Am I missing something? Oh, I missed what happened to SimpleClips. Wait a minute. Is JD returning? No. Oh, I missed it. It must have been a fall. It would have been amazing if JD had fallen down and then done a clip back into Swamp to finish Swamp. But we're just going to dupe. Oh, I get it now. This is what... I get it now. I finally get it. Yes, I got it just before it dropped, which is that we're waiting to see what the prize is. That's what we wanted this whole time. So, because it's faster to get the prize this way, they wanted to check the prize after all. That's all they really wanted. Meanwhile, SimpleClips does it. He gets the double YBA, is fighting Trinex, Oh, I missed. Oh, I don't remember which sword it was. But SimpleClips doesn't have that. That could make a little bit of a difference here. But Trinex should not be a problem. It'll just take a minute. Yeah, so that was quite a neat route. I didn't expect our runners to be checking the prize via a YBA, but that's exactly what they did. And I thought it was quite interesting. Maybe SimpleClips meant to do that as well, but there must have been some miscalculation on how to actually get to Argus, or maybe they wanted to backtrack and forgot. I don't really know. Okay, so SimpleClips now is at the front of TR, and that's not where we want to be. If we have a potion, we could potentially mirror clip back into Turtle Rock and Lava Dive. A nice heart sitting at the potion shop. So that's for SimpleClips' 15th heart. Meanwhile, JD sitting at 14 hearts. Very close. So JD is ahead in equipment in terms of just having the tempered sword. Again, I can't recall where that tempered sword was. But SimpleClips apparently will be going to Aga 2 with Master Sword. Oh, and that is a heart as well. So that's JD's 15th heart. Oh, 16. Wait. Yeah, 15th heart. So SimpleClips is looking for potions, perhaps, and safeties. He has 49 rupees. This could be an issue. So he throws in the potion and does not get a... He throws in the bottle, does not get a potion. So he'll be farming some rupees. And... he'll need some more if he wants some safeties. Not totally sure about equipment for Turtle Rock. Maybe they'll need 2 potions. I'm not really sure. Yeah, meanwhile, JD has over 1,000 rupees. I'm not really sure how they pulled that off. Oh, right. So JD has the ability to hook push and use overworld conveyor. So we see a slot 9 bomb timed just right to get a downward conveyor. So this is a downward for JD. We're able to use the downward to take us into a clipping state when we touch slopes in a certain way. So JD can take advantage of that clipping state to get to Turtle Rock. And we get a nice zip to get to the east side, and then can clip through the collision and get to the middle ledge. So JD went for a mirror. What do you call this? Super Bunny. So they didn't get it. We're in the end game. It's getting hard to get glitches done consistently. That's okay. Looks like they get it. So here we go. So JD, with that, they don't have to death warp, and they have 14 hearts to get rid of if they were to do that. They don't have to do that. So they can simply go through a pipe, and the pipe turns us into Lonk. And there we go. Then JD can simply use Hookshot and turn back into Link. All right, so JD has a red potion. This will allow them to skip the big key door. And there we go. And now we're on the next screen. And now we just need to lava dive here. So JD will be doing a YBA South. And this is a super tile YBA. And here we go. SimpleClips. So SimpleClips is getting into Turtle Rock with a blue potion. So this is what made SimpleClips' route a bit expensive. Nice triple to start on Agatu. By the way, the lava dive takes us to Agatu. So JD drops straight down into the fight. Looks like maybe one shot more. There we go. Nice 3 cycle. Do we get a Clipe out? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, no. Oh, too bad. Close. All right. SimpleClips is on his way. Also doing the door skip. So the big key door skip. So let's see. Let's see it. No, not quite. Mirror out. Try again. Okay. JD is at Ganon. So JD first into Ganon has Tempered Sword. This appears to be JD's race to lose. So they fall to Ganon. Nice start with a Trident spin. And nice into phase 2. Here we go. Using dash strats. Good start. Did we get enough hits? Yeah, we did. So we took some damage, but that's fine. We had 15 hearts. All right, SimpleClips gets the lava dive and is now at Agatu. Oh, we missed one of the balls, unfortunately. Ooh, very nice double at the end. So nice 3 cycle for both runners. Very close race. And nice. So JD gets this torch glitch, which is good. Without silvers. And does not go for a top light. That's okay. We have the opportunity to get into a triple here. JD will wait. Be patient. So SimpleClips falls into Ganon. And we'll have a Master Sword fight. So this will be a tougher fight. JD will take it nice and slow. JD takes Ganon down. GG's to JD as Ganon explodes. So there we go. SimpleClips, still working on the fight, is in phase 2 now. And JD finishes with 128.19 on their timer. And that is the SRL, official SRL time as well. And we'll see if they want to join us. Meanwhile, SimpleClips is finishing out their fight. And this is no small battle. This is a long one. This is the Master Sword Silverless fight. And he's got it. He's into phase 3, and he has 3 hearts remaining. And I'm looking forward to interviews if our runners are up for it, because it will be very interesting to know when they felt like they were in go mode. Items came fast in this seed. And we are joined by JD. Congrats, GG's on the victory.
Thank you. I was a nervous wreck, especially after I mirrored in the back of Eastern. I felt like such an idiot. I really don't like quick swap.
Oh, I hear you. I missed that mirror. Wow. I did not see that. And was that in your second time into Eastern when that happened?
Yeah. Yeah, what was happening was I was like, maybe it's faster to fire out the Stelphos. I was in ZGR, and then I was like, well, I have to bow the Igor anyway, and I hit L like one too many times, and instead of shooting an arrow, I mirrored.
Okay.
I was like, oh my god. I was
Wow.
like, I'm probably gonna lose just for that. Was what I
No.
was thinking.
It is a close race, though. So I'm glad you recovered after that. And SimpleClips missed the tempered sword. Now, could you remind me where your tempered was?
Pod Stelphos basement.
Yeah, Pod Stalfo's basement. SimpleClips did a search of Pod, but must have missed that chest because he was probably on his way to go mode. Can you tell me about how you got into go mode and how you knew you could finish the seed?
Once the flippers turned up, I thought good, but then I was like thinking about it, and I was like, without or Samaria, I can't actually really hook push anything. I don't know. I was like thinking 2 bottles in the mirror, I should be fine. Like my last resort was to like do a link state item with like the bumper ledge item and then double YBA Trinex. But then a 3rd bottle just happened to be on the way, and I was like, I need to really stop checking things. But then I kept checking them anyway because I didn't have any maps. Like, so I got the lucky 50-50 with Swamp and Meyer. I wasn't sure. You know,
Yeah.
I figured Swamp was faster no matter what, so I did Swamp before Meyer. But then I like didn't even commit to it. I like went back to Hera to check before I went to the boss because I was like, I don't know if I should be doing this.
Yeah, that was pretty funny because that confused me. But it didn't just confuse me because you did it. SimpleClips also did it, and I was confused even still. So we'll have to ask him about his foray from Swamp to Hera as well. But right before you got that crystal, I mean, to appear in Hera, that is, I understood because it would allow you to check and then you could go back. And so that was pretty fun to see.
Yeah, and I realized after, as I was YBAing into ISO, that I had the mitts, so that was some more time lost.
Right, yeah, I noticed that as well. GG's to SimpleClips for finishing out this seed. A close race throughout. And we are joined by SimpleClips. GG's.
GG's.
It was a close race. And you were both going into your end game at the same time, basically. And JD had the advantage of Tempered Sword, in addition to getting to Ganon first. So you missed Stalfo's basement, I believe, of Pod, because that was Tempered Sword for JD.
Yeah, I was skipping that whole area because I was in go mode, but of course the sword would be there.
Now, I was a little confused because I couldn't tell whether you were in go mode when you were in pod. So can you take me through how you got into go mode? What items you wanted to check?
I got a 3rd bottle, and in my mind that was all I really needed. But as I was going through, I was grabbing some checks because I was thinking, okay, if it turns out to be Meyer, there are a lot of items I could find that would really speed things up. But I was not finding those items, and one of the slower checks that I skipped was that Stalfo's basement.
Yeah, exactly. And we do see a 105 collection rate, so nice and low. And the items just came fast in this seed. One potential difference, I thought, for a little bit was I believe it was, what was it, Ice Rod in the attic of Thieves Town. This was Pendant Thieves Town. But both of you ended up going there, which made it a close race throughout. Another thing, I believe, was it you, SimpleClips, who did a spin YBA to get to Cold Stare?
Yeah, I did do that.
But couldn't you have picked up the rock to fall to Cold Stare?
Okay, So I made that mistake and another earlier on the seed because I've been doing so many no logics where it does not give me things like the hammer or sword. I tried to do the swordless Death Mountain descent to go to Graveyard Ledge, and then realized I was messing it up because I had the sword.
Oh, I see. I get it. I get it.
I did something similar too. The reason I went back to Pod was because I was going to YBA to Hera because I forgot Hera Pot existed. Because the last, I think, 5 no logic seeds I did, there was no hookshot.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking you would do at first, and then you ended up searching Pod, which was beneficial. So yeah, that was kind of funny. But also, can you please take me through Swamp Palace and how you went from Swamp to Hera instead of going straight to Argus?
Oh my gosh. I did it twice. 2 times. I could have just simply beaten the dungeon, and I forgot that I had the tools to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay.
Every 10 no logic seeds, I should just play the game normal so that I
Yeah.
remember how to play it.
Yeah, I've been there as well, for sure. And so we also saw something similar happen with JD, where JD had the same ability and then went from Swamp to Hera. But what it was a check of the crystal prize. So
wait, I was thinking about I guess part of what it was is I didn't know that was a crystal yet, and so my first thought was to dupe it.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so both of you had that thought.
So I did also forget that I could just beat it too. So it was a combination of those two things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The difference is that I probably would have gone back through Hera and then just beat the boss if I knew that.
Yeah, so pretty close race. It appeared you had a crystal lead at the mid game, but unfortunately there was some slowdown getting to Argus.
I forgot to back out the first attempt, and the second attempt I failed
because I did admit to Swamp.
What were you saying, JD? About getting to Swamp? Did I lose you, JD? Maybe we lost them.
Huh.
And SimpleClips.
It was something involving Mitts and Swamp.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of amazing how quickly both of you had a glove, swords, rods.
Oh, were you doing Desert Argus?
Yes.
Yeah, I did do Desert Argus.
I chose it was here now.
So you cut out a little bit again. So sorry. But yeah, I'm sorry I missed what you said there. Okay. So maybe JD will give us one more try in the interview booth. SimpleClips, other thoughts on this seed?
Near the end, I was spending so many potions that I was having to farm money, so that
Oh
that
my
was
gosh.
interesting.
Yeah, so so yeah, so
The
JD had
extra
so much.
Argus potions.
Go ahead.
I was saying that extra money spent getting to Argus the long way is part of the problem.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was expensive for sure. And yeah, so by the way, do you know overworld conveyor setups? This would
I
be a
do, but I only know how to do them with Samaria or a bow, and I have
oh,
neither.
oh, okay. And JD did have the advantage of bow. Um,
Ah,
yeah, one thing to look up is potentially using splash methods, and we saw Dot Dot use them in their race. And that all it takes is bombs and a sword, essentially, and index setting. But if you can splash a bomb into water, you can quickly mislot a bomb. So something to keep in mind.
yeah, that'd be good to get to the back of TR without so many blue YBAs.
Oh yeah. And JD, can you remind us where the bow was?
Hey, can you hear me
Yes.
now?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, the bow was in the back of Escape.
Oh,
I was
that's
gonna say,
right.
I kept checking things because I knew that, like, there was just way too much that was unknown still with the Mire and Swamp, and I knew that Mire was Ether, and I didn't have it, so, like, I started to skip things, but I was checking some things, and I realized I had had mitts for, like, quite a while and didn't do the back of Escape, so I
Yeah.
was really happy to see that bow because, I like unlocked Eastern, but I was like, I don't want to do this right now. This is so slow. If I get like a bow or even bow and the blue
Yeah.
boomerang, then
Right.
I can skip all this. But like the boomerang didn't turn up, but I got the bow at least, and I used the bow for
Oh,
conveyor as well, which was nice.
I've got a boomerang, red boom. I forgot where I got it though.
Yeah. A
No, I
swamp.
have the red one as well, but the red one doesn't work for there's a specific hook push for Eastern. If you don't have Samaria, you can use the blue boomerang and a sword beam with bombs as well.
Oh, I've been able to
And just
use the
what
red. I would give that
I've
another
gotten it to
try.
work too sometimes, but sometimes it just overloads and it doesn't give you the
Ah,
release. So like
yeah,
I
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stopped going for it with the red boom because
Okay.
I couldn't figure out what the problem was, but it's 100% consistent with the blue boomerang.
True.
But and if I have thought of that cloud conveyor setup, that would have been faster for going to TR the first time. The second time when I was going to TR for Aga,
Mm-hmm.
I at least had the bow for conveyor though.
Okay. Right, right. Okay, that makes sense. And any final thoughts on this seed, JD?
Well, I don't know. I just feel like I made way too many mistakes. I was shocked that I didn't lose this one. Like the mirror thing especially, but
Mhm.
like I just felt like it was too sloppy, but I mean, I guess that's rando though. A win is a win. So
What went wrong with the mirror?
I accidentally mirrored out of the back of Eastern, so I had to redo the dungeon, basically the entire dungeon, because you know
Quick swap.
ZGR, the first red Igor room. I overshot the bow when I was quick swapping, and I just mirrored out.
Yeah, I think I almost mirrored out somewhere in this seed, but it was because I was walking through a door and quick swapping, and I could have sworn I heard the quick swap sound, but it did not quick swap. So if I didn't see that and press Y, I would have also lost a whole dungeon worth of progress.
Oh yeah, that's a funny thing. You know, we can lose sound effects in this video game. We can also lose quick swap sounds as well. I'm pretty sure. So something to watch out for, maybe.
Mhm.
Well, thank you both for
Oh,
running. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say, oh, SimpleClips has pendants. I see. Was that because you were looking for the crystals, or like, and you just like blind pulled them?
One of those pendants is just me beating thieves before I didn't know what dungeon it was yet. I was just beating it because I could, and I wanted to loop in Skullwoods with it. The green pendant is because I forgot I could just beat Swamp, so it was
Yeah.
duped
Right.
from there.
Oh yeah, that was my question earlier when I guess whatever happened with Discord and I couldn't talk to you guys, but I was surprised that you were Desert Argus, which is confirmed by the pendant. Because I thought about doing that and I was like, wait a minute, let's not increase the YBA load any higher than it already is.
So yeah, I was shooting myself in the foot by being more confident with YBAs because I didn't stop to think about which ones were unnecessary.
It happens. It's hard to keep everything in your head, like during a race. I know I did some stuff I shouldn't have done. And I actually died on the overworld too, which was embarrassing.
That's okay.
Oh yeah, sorry, Chex. You're trying to close it out, so
No worries.
I'll be quiet now.
No worries, no worries. So I'll go ahead and wrap up. So thanks again, both of you, for running this. And thanks to other Tom for tracking. So appreciate it very much. And thanks SpeedGaming for another restream. I've been enjoying these restreams in this first week of the tournament. So great to see so many restreams of all of our races. So we will have more No Logic in the next in the next few weeks. So keep watching. Thanks everyone for watching, and have a good one.